Hello, welcome back for Unit 3 of our American History 2 course here at Waldorf University Online. And this week, we're heading into an expansionist America. We're going to be looking at chapters 22 and 23 in the text. Chapter 22 talks about the age of empire and American foreign policy as America stretches beyond from sea to shining sea. And then in chapter 23, we're going to get all the way up to and through the Great War, what we commonly call World War I now. And so we're going to explore this in a couple of different ways. You have your first essay in the Unit 3 essay, which you can find the directions for in the syllabus schedule document over there on the left-hand side of the course. And then you can also access the unit lesson and all that stuff as well under Unit 3. And so the first thing you got to do is the discussion board, which, as usual, is due first with your response by Saturday at 11:59 p.m. Central, and then your follow-up to a classmate by Tuesday at 11:59 p.m. And this actually focuses on the second chapter of the reading. The question for this week is about, do you think the United States needed to intervene in World War I? I want you to talk about specific examples from the reading in both posts. I think that's one of the things that I see as a common issue is a lot of times in the first post, we do a good job of getting into the text and using some solid examples. Continue to bring evidence into your responses to classmates as well. Make sure that you're kind of engaging in a really meaningful way. And when you respond, choose a classmate whose first post agrees with your first post, and then provide the alternative viewpoint. So what I want you to do is kind of argue both sides, one on your initial post, and then kind of argue against yourself and your classmate on the second post. I think this is a really good skill, which kind of builds critical thinking and helps you anticipate objections. I think that could be a really good skill. I always talk about it in courses on campus as if you're able to go into an argument knowing what someone else is going to argue, you do a much better job of kind of addressing those claims and then bringing in evidence in a meaningful way. And I think the best way to practice that is by kind of expressing different viewpoints in an exercise like this one. I think imagining alternative interpretations helps us anticipate gaps in our own kind of logic. This isn't meant to change your mind, but it does help increase the evidence considered as we form our opinion. So do a good job with that over on the discussion board, and then shift your focus to the Unit 3 essay. And the prompt for that is, should the United States be considered an imperialistic power or a liberating nation between 1890 and 1920? This is the major focus of the first assigned chapter in the reading. And for this assignment, compare the impact the United States had before World War I to the experience as a world military power after the start of World War I. You'll write an essay comparing two specific policies or events, and I kind of want you to look at this kind of as a before and after, and you can see those specific dates in the prompt under the syllabus schedule. Your essay should include discussion about conflicting American and internationalist perspectives on U.S. intervention. As now, and as we've seen in recent conflicts, most notably probably Iraq and Afghanistan, people have a variety of different opinions on the kind of role of the United States abroad. And that was true during this era, during the early kind of 1900s as well. And so there's also 4 steps to help you develop your essay listed in that syllabus schedule, and I really encourage you to look at those. So first, choose a United States intervention from 1890 to 1914, and then one from 1914 to 1920, the easiest maybe in the second term being World War I. Gather details and compare facts to how the United States approached those as you start your research. Then, once you complete your research, choose a visual or print primary source that addresses controversy or differences of opinion regarding these United States interventions. Political cartoons are great primary sources, and there's a lot of really good ones available out there on the internet or in other places that talk about these conflicts, everything ranging from the Spanish-American War to the United States occupation of the Philippines, our intervention in other Latin America and Caribbean countries, as well as going into and participating and finishing World War I. Use like an appropriate visual primary source that can be a cartoon. It could also be like propaganda posters were really big during World War One. Could also be paintings, film clips, or other artifacts that are from the time period. That's how we want to be thinking about primary sources. A third step from your research, choose 2 appropriate scholarly sources. You're going to find these over at the Waldorf Online Library by using the database. Also, some students really like to use Google Scholar for this, so that could be useful as well. Your sources for this should really include primary sources or data generated in the historical period. So like for these, make sure that you're finding something that brings insight in. The best way to think about sourcing, especially secondary sources, think about who wrote it and why you should listen to them. I think that's a couple of questions that people should ask themselves with almost anything you're reading any of the time, which is a skill you could pull out of this class and apply broader in your life. And then once you've kind of got your research done, critically analyze your research, draw some conclusions from the comparison and the range of opinion reflected. And then construct a thesis statement, which is what you think. I think considering the different viewpoints the same way we're going to do on the discussion board is really positive, and understanding how other people would answer the question before developing your own opinion can be pretty important. Your thesis statement should offer your reader your specific insight into the outcomes and perspectives up to 1920 based on the research you conducted. Then use the following guidelines to help decide your thesis statement. Ensure that it's about the right time period. Ask yourself what comparison suggestions about changes in the nature and scope of U.S. interventions took place during this period. Ask yourself how those interventions resulted in control, economic advantage, democratization, or liberation, partially, wholly, or not at all. And they list several other questions in there that you could look at kind of for the after. And I think if you can consider those questions that are listed in the syllabus schedule, to go a long way to putting together a really high quality thesis. Then finally, write your essay. It must be at least 2 pages in length, double spaced, so it should be about 500 words in total. Adhere to APA style when creating citations for the work that you're pulling in as a part of those source requirements in the earlier steps. And then make sure excuse me, that you're putting together a quality submission. Then turn it in. It's due by Tuesday at 11:59 p.m. Central Standard Time. If you got questions, make sure you're reaching out to me at kevin.mason@waldorf.edu or over at Ask Your Professor link within the course, and I'm here to help. Good luck this week.